Men, when was the last time you cried? My number one dream in life was always to be a dad, and when my daughter Isabella was born 5 years ago, I remember holding her in the hospital and thinking that nothing bad could ever touch us as long as I was there to protect her. I was naive in the way that new parents often are, believing that love alone could shield us from the things that were already coming. My wife started struggling a few months after we brought Isabella home, not in dramatic ways at first, just a tiredness that wouldn't lift, a distance in her eyes when she looked at our daughter, a flatness in her voice when she said she was fine. The doctors called it postpartum depression and gave her medication and told us it would get better, and I believed them because I needed to believe something. But it didn't get better. It got worse, slowly, and then all at once, until my wife was someone I didn't recognize anymore, crying for hours, then screaming at me for small things, then going silent for days in a way that scared me more than the screaming. She never hurt Isabella, not physically, but there were moments when I'd come home and find our daughter in her crib with a soaked diaper and my wife just sitting in the dark living room staring at nothing, and I'd feel this cold fear that I couldn't name. I started taking over everything, the feedings, the diaper changes, the bedtime routines, telling myself I was helping, but really I was building a wall between my wife and my daughter because I didn't trust what might happen if I wasn't there. My wife knew what I was doing and it made everything worse. She'd accuse me of thinking she was a bad mother, and I'd deny it even though we both knew I was lying, and the arguments got louder and more frequent until Isabella learned to go quiet whenever our voices rose, which broke something in me I don't think will ever fully heal. We separated when Isabella was 18 months old, and my wife checked herself into a treatment facility, and I told myself this was the right thing even as I watched her drive away and wondered if I'd failed her somehow. The custody arrangement gave me primary placement, and my wife got supervised visits, and for a while that's how it was, me and Isabella in a small apartment, learning how to be a family of two, while my wife worked on getting better somewhere I couldn't help her. Those early years were hard in ways I don't talk about much. I was exhausted all the time, working and parenting and worrying, and some nights I'd put Isabella to bed and then sit in the kitchen and just stare at the wall because I didn't have the energy to do anything else. But Isabella grew, the way children do whether you're ready or not, and slowly she went from a quiet, watchful toddler to a girl who laughed easily and demanded bedtime stories and told me I was her best friend in the whole world. I cried the first time she said that, and she looked at me with this serious expression and asked why I was sad, and I told her I wasn't sad. I was just so happy it came out as tears, and she nodded like that made perfect sense. My wife got better too, eventually. Not cured, because that's not how mental illness works, but stable enough to have unsupervised visits, stable enough to be part of Isabella's life in a way that I had to make peace with even when it scared me. Last month she told me she wants to revisit the custody arrangement, and I don't know yet what that will look like or how I feel about it. Part of me wants to fight, to protect what Isabella and I have built together, and part of me knows that a daughter needs her mother and that keeping them apart might hurt Isabella in ways I can't see yet. I don't have an answer, and I've stopped pretending that I will. What I do know is that last week Isabella drew me a picture of the two of us as stick figures holding hands, with best dad ever written on top in wobbly letters, and I put it on the refrigerator where I can see it every morning. She asked me if I liked it, and I told her it was the best gift I'd ever received, and she beamed at me with her mother's eyes, and I felt everything at once. The fear and the love and the grief and the hope, all tangled together in a knot I'll probably spend the rest of my life trying to untangle. I don't know what comes next for us. I don't know if my wife will stay well, or if the custody battle will tear apart the fragile peace we've built. I just know that every night I tuck my daughter in and tell her I love her, and every morning she wakes up and knows that someone in this world will always be there for her, and maybe that's enough. Maybe that's all any of us can really promise. Full story linked below.